Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Jamie!
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
We got plenty going on today.
I put
What
up
do you think
several
about that little... You hear that background music? Is that just annoying? Or
It's not me.
No, I've got it in there on purpose. I was trying
Oh.
to decide if it was annoying. Anyway, I got to do my open. Craig Crawford here with Trail Mix Live. I work for nothing but truth and Social Security checks, and we got Jamie here with us. Hello, Jamie.
Hello. Yeah, I came to hear what Carolyn had to say.
I need to go ahead.
Someone who is an interim appointee only has a certain amount of days, and then you have to put in a permanent approved person, but he's trying to put in another temporary, and I think just putting her on the case is totally illegal.
Oh, you're talking about the U.S. attorney who brought the Comey charge.
Right. I don't think she's legal to even do it.
That's a possibility.
On your side, I put up several courtroom scenes, but the best one of all is
here she
is that clip from The Great Dictator.
Oh yeah, I got those. I've got those all queued up here when we want to get into them. Hey, Carolyn.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hi.
Well, I know you're pressed for time, so we'll just jump right into it. What's your main takeaway on James Comey getting indicted?
Well, given the circumstances, I don't think it's a surprise. It will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think we will all learn quite a bit in the next few months about our government, about the legal system,
and whether we're going to keep it.
I think we will.
You think
we'll survive? I do. I do.
Actually, on that point, Jamie has gotten some clips here from like Charlie Chaplin doing the Great Dictator and some other things for us to look at later. But I want to get into your expertise as a former federal prosecutor, and you describe it. I'll just summarize. At one point in your long career at Department of Justice, you were in an office that actually investigated or held accountable prosecutors that went awry or something. What was that?
We investigated allegations of professional misconduct. Professional misconduct generally means violating the rules and regulations of the Department of Justice or the state bar rules. Each state has rules of professional conduct for the lawyers that must be complied with. So we investigated for violation of those rules also.
Did you actually end up prosecuting any prosecutors?
That's different. You're talking two different things. These were not criminal offenses. They were we investigated for violations of rules and regulations and bar rules. So that is not a criminal matter. It's a professional matter. If we determined that someone had violated the professional rules, then there were a variety of consequences. We might send that information to the state bar that had licensed that person, and then the state bar would deal with it. Or we might determine that they had violated the Department of Justice rules and regulations. And in that case, they might get time off without pay, a range of consequences. We might find that they had not committed any violation or that they had used poor judgment, which is what Alex Acosta was accused of, or was found accountable for, that he had used poor judgment, which is not necessarily a finding of a violation of the rules, just that, they did something stupid that they should have known better. So there were a variety of consequences if we found that they had used poor judgment or had violated the rules. And the ultimate punishment would have been that they could have been fired for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, did any of your cases, to get into where we are now with this Comey case, and the most likely defense we'll see, or an early one, I assume, is for some sort of selective prosecution. Did you investigate any of those kind of cases where prosecutors?
No, because it's rare. That is very, very rare. Now, as a prosecutor, I had one time when somebody claimed selective prosecution. Those cases, those claims never go anywhere. Technically, when you're talking about selective prosecution, and I know there's been a lot of discussion of that in the past few days, but legally, when someone says selective prosecution, they are claiming that other people have done the same thing I did and were not prosecuted. You are prosecuting me for some inappropriate or improper reason. So technically, it's almost as though they are conceding or not disputing the act that they are accused of committing, but they are saying you're prosecuting me when you haven't prosecuted other people. I do not think Comey wants to do that. I mean, he came out last night and very strongly said, I am innocent. So I don't see them mounting a selective prosecution defense. Vindictive prosecution is different. And that, I think he has a very, very strong case. But I also see Comey as, and what he said, I want to go to trial. I see him as wanting that and to air it. Any pretrial motions might, it's possible that it wouldn't go to trial. He has a fabulous lawyer. Patrick Fitzgerald is very.
Yeah, I've heard that name. When I saw it, what do I remember about him?
That he was in AUSA in the Southern District of New York with Comey. They worked together years ago. And then Fitzgerald went to Chicago and was the U.S. attorney in Chicago for a long time. He also worked on a couple of independent investigations. He is very well respected. I had dealings with him at one time, and one of the most genuinely nice people and that I ran into in my time in the Department of Justice, and very well qualified. So.
But is that what you really want going up against the Trump world? Is somebody nice?
Well, you see, your definition of nice and my definition of nice will be different. I think I was a nice prosecutor, but I was a very firm and strong prosecutor. But you can nicely and still be a very good prosecutor, a very good defense attorney. Nice does not mean you're an asshole. My dealings with Fitzgerald were that he was a very nice person. I would not want to be on the other side of the bench from him, though. I would not. I know that he is a very strong lawyer, whether it's as a prosecutor or a defense attorney.
And if he were able to show vindictive prosecution, and he could get a judge to invoke that, it's a different kind of Hyde Amendment, but it's called the Hyde Amendment. You showed me the other day. There's a potential the taxpayers would have to pay for his legal fees if they could show
that would only come after a trial and an acquittal. But yes, the defense then could file a Hyde Amendment claim, and there could be a financial recovery. Yes, if the language of that particular statute is that if there was a vexatious prosecution.
Vexatious.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's a word you don't hear often.
Well, and I think just based on Trump's words, his comments, his statements about Comey, he's the worst person in this country's ever been subjected to. I think that claims.
How's this one? He just filed this morning. James Comey is a dirty cop. Is that vexatious?
I think that a judge could certainly find it so.
And just before that, he wrote all this, whether you like corrupt James Comey or not, and I can't imagine liking him, he lied. It's not a complex lie. It's a very simple lie, blah, 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 and on and on and on and on it goes. I mean, how would they enter that into the courtroom? I mean, into a case?
I think that if this were to go to trial, I could see the judge saying to the prosecutor, if there are any statements by anyone in the government, including the president, that would affect the substantial rights of this defendant, you are looking at a dismissal. I could see that happen because certainly the prosecutor cannot go out there and say those things publicly. It has happened. That is one of the things that I investigated when I worked in the Office of Professional Responsibility, where prosecutors made statements publicly that were inappropriate and could affect the rights of a defendant. That's inappropriate. It's a violation of the Department of Justice rules and regulations. And the people in this current administration are doing that every day.
Yeah. Jamie, any questions for Carolyn?
Not really. My only question about this is whether the current prosecutor who brought the charges is even legally allowed to do so, since she is a temporary following on another temporary in the office.
Yes, she would be. I mean, she would be allowed. She's the acting U.S. attorney right now. So yeah, she could go into court and represent the government in the case. I'm not sure she'd know.
Even though the person she is replacing had already exceeded the number of days that they were allowed to be in the job without a permanent being assigned.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they worded it or what the time is, but yeah, I don't think that would be an issue.
Okay.
And there would probably be somebody else with her too. I mean, I can't imagine she would be going into court alone. There would be a second person probably who has been in the office for a while.
Well, from what we've heard, there weren't many in the grand jury room yesterday with her. It was just her and a couple of people that are from the trial. It sounded like, if the reporting's accurate, the career prosecutors in that office didn't sign any of the paperwork and weren't present.
Well, there was no reason for them to be
present.
Correct. Yeah, there would be no reason for them to be
to be there with the grand jury presenting the.
Correct. Yeah, there would be no reason for them to be. When I presented cases to the grand jury, I was the only attorney in there. You only need one.
But in this case, it was just the U.S. attorney herself in there, apparently.
Who has never brought a case.
Yeah, that's fine that she was in there alone. Now, I would think there might have been a second person just because she wouldn't know what she was doing. There would be at least a second person in there that she could ask questions of and know, when do I stand up? When do I sit down? When do I ask? I think that would have been helpful. So I would guess that there was at least another attorney in there. And we don't really know who actually presented it. Now, there would have been a witness. There would have had to have been a witness in there to testify. And we don't know who that might have been.
Well, and the reporting was that that she was in there, and there were a couple other recent appointees who were labeled Trump loyalists, and so maybe as a lot of people don't know, is in a grand jury, the prosecutor. One reason there's so much obligation by the prosecutors to be professional and is they're in there. There's no other side in the room. So, I mean, whatever they tell the grand jury is all they hear, except for the witnesses, of course. And so when you have a situation where you've got potentially very biased prosecutors who were in there to get this indictment on behalf of what it seems the president's demands, there's a real chance this grand jury didn't really get the full story.
Well, that's also something I have been reading in the past 24 hours, whether there was any exculpatory evidence presented to the grand jury. Exculpatory meaning any evidence that would negate any evidence indicating guilt. So exculpatory would mean helpful to the defendant. Generally,
and that just explained right there that is an obligation prosecutors have to present that, right?
Generally, yes. I mean,
because a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think, when you're in a case and you're arguing your side, you don't have to give the others, any credit to the other side. But that doesn't seem natural to people. But that isn't how it works in a courtroom with prosecutors.
I would also correct what your statement in saying that you argued to the grand jury. I never argued anything to the grand jury. We presented the evidence and then presented them with the proposed indictment and left the room, and they voted on the indictment. But we never argued with them. Now, the witness testified, and you make out the case or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have to argue with them, then you've got a crappy case.
Yeah. And they had a crappy case on one of the counts because the grand jury did not agree to one of the counts. I haven't drilled into exactly which one that was, but there were 3 counts and the grand jury approved 2 of them.
Yeah, I read something. It had to do with lying about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it was the Hillary part. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was, and we may never know exactly because that wouldn't be public.
Yeah. Oh, and so the indictment itself, here's the indictment. Is it normal for the U.S. attorney to actually sign it?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the attorney's name is always on it. And I assume that's your signature.
And have you ever seen an indictment? I actually discovered that the indictment literally fit on my phone. The entire indictment. It was that short.
That's not unusual. If you've got 1 or 2 counts, they're short.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
they can be 100 pages. They can be 1 page. It just depends on how many counts there are and what the facts are.
And the perjury charge, isn't that usually lying to an agent, FBI agent? Doesn't that usually go with other charges? Is it
not necessarily? No.
It can be its own separate. It was in some of the Trump prosecutions, actually. I guess.
Yeah. It can be a standalone charge. It's in the legal world. It's called 1,001 count.
What does that mean?
Well, that's the statute. It's Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1001.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
yeah, it's called 1001 count. And
Well,
lying to an agent would come under that, but it's also lying in any proceeding, legislative, executive. So yeah, it's lying in a matter. Now it has to be material. It has to be a material lie. And there is some question as to even if Comey did lie, was it a material lie? And it has to be intentional. So there are a lot of reasons why it's not a very strong count.
and I don't know if you've gotten into the particulars of what they're alleging, but it seems to be where, if I could summarize where this one may fall apart, is they're saying he lied when he said he didn't order an associate to leak to the press. And that associate also, Andy McCabe, we're talking about, that associate also said that he was not ordered to do that, but that what happened is he leaked to the press and then later told Comey about it, and Comey kind of went along with it and nothing was done. But the basis of the charge is that he lied about ordering that associate. And unless they've got some evidence we don't know about, it doesn't seem like that holds up.
Well, I would agree. And it's the alleged lie is when he responded to Ted Cruz in the hearing.
Yes.
And
yeah,
McCabe's statement, I believe, is that he informed Comey later, after he had leaked.
Right. And the significant thing about you bringing up Cruz is that, because it's a big part of their basis for saying Comey lied, is that when Cruz, and they always show this clip of Cruz questioning him in the testimony that Comey gave remotely from his home because it was during COVID, and Cruz misrepresented, I mean, more than misrepresented, what McCabe's testimony was. And what he was in Cruz's questioning of Comey, he was saying that McCabe had said that Comey ordered him to leak. And that isn't what McCabe, but that has become part of the case. And that's part of their basis of the case, is to show that what McCabe's testimony was. They're using Ted Cruz's misrepresentation of McCabe's testimony. That's bizarre.
And that is an issue with it makes it that there's no clarity. And I think that is probably one of the factors that the original prosecutor, the U.S. attorney who was kicked out, probably a lot of the reason that they felt that it was not a viable prosecution.
Yeah, because there were two prior investigations of this. We'll start with the first one, which was the Inspector General at DOJ, Horowitz, I believe.
That was Horowitz at the time. He's gone now.
Right. And he investigated and said there was no basis for any indictments for how the FBI handled the Russia-Trump campaign investigation. And then we have the $6 million investigation by Durham.
Yes.
Who spent, I don't know how many years, I think 3 at least, and didn't come up with any charge. Now he wrote a report saying they did.
They did charge one person.
I mean Comey. He didn't. Yeah, but yeah, they charged one person and got a unanimous acquittal.
Yeah.
on a perjury charge, very much like the one they brought against Comey in that case. So,
was it an acquittal? I can't remember. It was a lawyer who worked for the department.
Right. Yeah. I actually got a little.
It doesn't matter, you know, but
yeah, but that and so there have been two pretty serious, even one by a Bill Barr appointee of all this, and even now there are reports that what's her name, Pam Bondi, is concerned about this, and apparently wasn't in favor of it, but we don't know that, so
yeah, the word is that she and Blanche both believe that there should be no prosecution, but that's just we don't know that. Neither of them told me that. So
yeah. So anyway, I see Maggot Man's here. Maggot Man,
how's it going, gang?
all right. We got our former federal prosecutor, my cousin Carolyn, here, giving us a lowdown before she has to go.
Hey, look, yo.
But what's the next
payback
here?
Look, they prosecuted.
I'm not. I'm talking to Carolyn right now.
Okay.
What's the next step now? Do they file a motion to dismiss, or what do we?
Well, he will be arraigned October 9th, I believe, 8th or 9th, in Alexandria Federal Court. And sometimes arraignments are before a magistrate judge. My guess is that in this matter, it will be before the judge, who's Monanoff or something. It has a rather hard to pronounce name, but it will be before him, and they will discuss the proceedings and where they go. Whether there will be discovery, which means that the government has to turn over a required discovery documents, the evidence that they are basing their prosecution on. That will be turned over to the defense. There will be a discussion of any motions that either side plans to file. So that will be an interesting hearing on the 9th to see what the discussion is.
And do you think you mentioned that it seemed like Comey wants to go to trial. Do you think they will try to file any motion for vindictive prosecution?
I don't know. They may want to air I don't know. And any motions would mean it would, those would have to be heard, and it would be longer before they could get to trial. So who knows? They may want to just dispense with any motions, pleadings, and go straight to trial. I think that anything is possible.
Yeah. So anybody, Jamie, Maggot Man, you got questions for Carolyn before we lose her?
No, it seems like this is the way the law works, to my understanding. If the prosecutor, a lot of times prosecutors have very little to work with. Trump supposedly dated some girl, and then he used the money for his campaign to deceive. It sounds flimsy to me. Payback.
No! Don't change the subject. We're talking about this case.
No problem. It's totally within the law. The prosecutor has the jurisdiction to charge him with something. As our Carolyn said, if it's without merit, it's going to get thrown out. Of course, Trump is going to try to get it in front of a judge. I might be wrong. In front of a judge that's favorable to continuing it, and see, that's what happened with what the Democrats and the Biden folks did to some of the Trump people.
No, the judge
without merit, it should never have been brought.
Who determines if it's without merit? A judge.
No.
Well,
a judge or a jury.
Okay, great, but I don't.
But initially,
yeah, but
initially, it's the obligation of prosecutors under Department of Justice rules to make these decisions properly.
Let's cut to the
cases they're not supposed to bring cases that they don't think can get to trial and get a conviction.
Right. But
you can dismiss that if you want, but that's the rule.
Are laws being broken? Is procedure being followed? To my understanding, yes. Okay, that's the way it works. Okay, and you can show hey, a law is being broken because this guy's being charged with what was it, perjury in front of the Congress, great. Then the whole thing gets thrown out. If you can't show that, hey, the thing goes forward. I think.
No, stop.
Hold on, let me say one thing.
Stop.
I don't agree with lawfare. I don't agree with lawfare.
But you're missing a step here that you've got to address. I mean, and acknowledge.
Which is,
I mean, Carolyn, what prosecutors can't just bring a case on a hope that it. I mean, they have to have enough evidence that they think it can get a conviction, and they can't just take a flyer.
Okay, so all prosecutions.
I'm asking Carolyn,
right? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm asking Carolyn.
I thought that was an assertion.
No, I'm asking Carolyn.
Yeah,
that is correct. It's one of the regulations of the Department of Justice that you bring a case if you sincerely believe that there is sufficient evidence to obtain a guilty verdict.
Right.
And the majority of them are, most cases end up in a guilty plea. The majority,
especially in federal court.
Yeah, well, and I think state court too, but a lot of them end up in guilty pleas because, in all honesty, there's enough work. I mean, you're not going to waste your time with something that's not a viable case. I mean, there's no reason. It's stupid. And so most end up in a guilty plea, and mainly because the defendant will then get better terms, better sentencing, and ends up better. So there is a reason for them to accept a plea offer. But the ones that go to trial, it's less than 10%, I would guess. I don't know that though. I mean,
go to trial. Less than 10% go to trial.
Yeah,
that's my guess. I mean, it's not that many. So
I thought all this was already known amongst us, but okay. My question is this: why shouldn't this prosecution have been brought? Now let's get to you guys have a different opinion. Why shouldn't it have been brought? There's not. First of all, we don't know what the charges are. We know a basic outline, but we don't know the specifics yet. So why are we jumping on?
No,
we do know the charge.
So what is?
The specifics or just the general outline?
The actual
indictment.
Okay. So the indictment has been filed.
That's the indictment. Okay. That's the indictment.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Two counts.
Okay,
Count one. Count one, false statements within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the United States government. Count two.
Do we know exactly what they're talking about?
Well, I mean, don't tell me we don't know something, and and then interrupt me when I'm showing you what we know.
Right. Okay.
Count two, obstruction of a congressional proceeding. That's the indictment, and that's the signature by the U.S. attorney that Trump recently appointed. So
do we know the exact incident? Like, on January 16th, 19 or 2020, we know that that's in the indictment. He said X, and that was patently untrue. I don't know.
I would say this: most indictments do give more information than that one did. Most indictments would say when defendant said blah blah blah.
Right.
This one is very skimpy. It was not prepared very well.
Right. Question: Will that specificity come out in the arraignment, or do we have to wait to go to trial or grand jury?
Well, it's already been to grand jury.
It's been to grand jury.
It's been to grand jury. That's how it got indicted. Only the grand jury can indict a case.
I didn't know that. I know. So a grand jury found evidence that there was wrongdoing. Is
probable cause.
Right. Okay. Probable cause.
Okay. But only on two of the three counts that Trump's
and that's what
his attorney brought.
Two of the three counts.
On one of the counts, the grand jury didn't agree.
Okay, and that there was no charge brought on that.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so we're following the law, to my understanding. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm glad to say, hey, I'm wrong.
Nobody's saying it was illegal for them to get a grand jury to indict him.
So then we'll see where it turns out.
Although I think it's a fair conclusion that it was a violation of prosecutor policy at DOJ to bring the case because they don't have a real. They don't have a case.
Yeah. And this is legal. The niceties of the legal system. Once again, I always like to go broader because I know, Craig, you're a political.
You're an absolutist.
No, hold on. Let me finish what I said. You're a political animal. How will this affect future elections? And will this have any effect in 2026 or 2028?
I'm not getting into that right now. We're trying to sort out the law on this case.
Okay, well, the law is the law is being followed. I mean, Carolyn, she knows, is the law being broken? Yes or no? If it is, we need to put an end to this. If it isn't, that's the way it works,
When you say is the law being broken, that's a vague question, and I have
of course, yeah, but we do have to approach it from that because we can put the whole thing away easily. The law is being broken. Okay, stop with this whole thing. You know what I mean? That's the first question. You know what I mean? Okay, now we get into more nuanced type of stuff.
Yeah, I think you need to take a civics lesson.
What have I said that's wrong? If a prosecution can be shown to be patently unfair or contrary to the law or to criminal procedure, then it stops. To my understanding, I mean,
that may be at the end of a trial.
At the end of a trial, then we go to appeal, right? But
unless the person's acquitted. If the person's acquitted,
obviously then the whole thing goes away. But I mean, at this
point, because then if it was the whole thing doesn't go away. If he's acquitted, he has an opportunity to seek his legal fees because of a malicious prosecution.
Now we're getting into he can get back reimbursed for his legal fees. Yeah, I'm talking about the prosecution goes away.
But that's Craig, that is not
okay. Have a good trip.
Talk to Lonnie there.
You did.
Got us both confused.
I'm not hearing. I didn't hear what Carolyn had to say.
Evidently on the Korean War Memorial.
One second.
Oh, sorry.
I'm departing for a second. Bye, folks.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna see. To me,
that's why we're watching it.
Is this a big and important story, politically speaking, or jurisprudentially speaking? In your opinion,
I think this is another sign of the man trying to be a dictator, and I think we ought to pay attention to that because I think this is prosecutorial overreach by a president who's ordering his U.S. attorney to file charges.
Now.
Okay. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Hope I didn't but I mean, by the same token, why wasn't it prosecutorial overreach and intimidation when they raided Trump's house in the middle of the night, former president, and said, "Oh, we're looking through everything."
Because they had a warrant.
Okay.
They had a warrant that a judge approved.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they got a judge.
And they found what they were looking for. He did have classified evidence that didn't belong to him.
Okay, so did Biden by his own admission. So are we now and so does Obama.
Yeah, well, Biden went to them and told them he had it. They didn't have to use a search warrant because he told them.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they tried to get Trump taken off the ballot in some states. That's not that's not fascist in
What states? Oh, you talking about that? You talking about
tried to get Trump taken so the people would not be allowed to vote.
You're talking about the Colorado case.
I think there were 10 states they tried to get him taken off the ballot in.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
only one went to the Supreme Court. But
as far as silencing the press, it came out this week that Biden administration said, "Hey, you need to deplatform certain people. You need to cut certain." How do we explain this?
Because half of it's not even true. I mean, that's one way to explain it.
So you're saying the executives at Google are lying when they say that Biden administration pressured them to censor certain voices.
During COVID, they informed a lot of these platforms that some of these sites were spreading lies about vaccines that were dangerous, and that was different than
So-
what we're
so-
talking about here.
Okay, well, wait a minute. So nobody is allowed to say, "Hey, I think the vaccine."
No.
is dangerous.
No, the government's allowed to inform a platform about facts that they're concerned about, and if that platform decides to do something, they do something. But that's different than pressuring them with regulations,
Well,
or
I mean,
threat of regulations, or
well, wait a minute.
denial of mergers, or that
Well,
sort of
they
thing.
said
That's
we
happening
want
now.
you- Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. From my understanding, they said to Facebook, "We want you to deplatform Donald Trump, president of the United States." Like, hey, we don't.
I never heard that.
He got deplatformed, didn't he?
Yeah, by Facebook, not the
Okay.
government.
I think these things, and this is why I think it's good that Comey's being prosecuted, because I think some things are going to start coming out. My impression, now we go to a different sort of. My impression is Comey is a very proud man. He likes being on. My impression, a guy like that, he'll crack under pressure. You're looking at 2 years in federal penitentiary. All right. It becomes
Don't
there.
start getting into prediction land
True,
again.
true. I understand that. But I think that's possibly what this is all about. And prosecutors do that all the time. It's a shame we don't have Miss Prosecutor here anymore, because prosecutors say the charges are flimsy, but we'll pressure him to get Joe. They can do that.
That is not allowed under DOJ policy. I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
But they do it all the time. We don't live in a world of
when they
perfect
do it, they get caught, and I mean, that isn't normal. I mean, you just because this administration it doesn't follow any rule of law doesn't mean that's normal.
They prosecute Sammy.
I mean, do you realize how unprecedented it is for a president to order his U.S. Attorney General to prosecute somebody? That just doesn't happen. This is the first time.
Number one, is there concrete evidence that or is there some text or something that we have, or is this just hearsay?
His own writings. Yeah.
And that's a difference between an order. You understand. Hey, I suggest.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
but in the court of law, that's not going to hold up. Like, hey, I suggested the prosecutor, somebody saying I order. I didn't order. I said, hey, I think it would be advisable. He's allowed to do that. Okay.
What about what he just wrote a couple hours ago?
Okay, great. Good. I like to see this. Dirty cop. That's an opinion. You can't prosecute. That's
right.
Not the order.
But this is the president of the United States.
Yeah, I understand
stating prejudicing a case. He's the head of the Justice Department in at least in his mind, and that's the kind of statement that will be used in court to show that this is a prejudicial prosecution.
And that great, and it'll come out before a jury.
And just before that, he writes corrupt James Comey. I mean, he's prejudged the case, right?
Oh, I wish I'd read all that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything there that first of all, what is Trump's reach on his Truth Social platform? Not that great. It's for the maggot type folks. I don't have Truth Social. I don't watch it. I get
that maggot. If
the
president says it, he says it.
Is that going to be prejudicial to a jury? Oh, a jury read, okay, you got to dismiss that juror. You know what I mean? But yeah. My opinion is this. I sense that Trump isn't writing his own text anymore. I sense that whatever his chief of staff's name, it's going through her, because he's a much more
what difference does that make?
Tweeter these days. Well, he's much more judicious in what he says. Like, hey, you can't say
that was judicious.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read it. You keep putting it up. I'd like to see
you're telling me that's judicious?
Yeah,
James Comey is a dirty cop.
Let's see. Yeah, he's allowed to say that.
I'm sorry. I think Trump wrote that.
Biden didn't say Elon Musk is a criminal, or I don't know, something like that. Somebody from the Biden administration never criticized anybody in the Trump campaign. He's an ex.
Maggot.
Yeah.
I gotta go get some. Let Jamie talk. I gotta get some water.
Hi, Maggot. You complained about not seeing a real face, so here it is. Your friendly neighborhood great grandmother. Hi. Now, there is a difference between uttering an opinion, which Trump has done, and saying, charge them for this crime.
Right. I agree.
And as a human being, he can say anything he wants. That's fine. No
Even as
problem.
president, he can say anything he wants.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, you might like it, you might agree with it. It's an
Exactly.
opinion, no
We're-
problem.
We are in 100% agreement thus far.
Yeah, as president of the United States, he cannot order someone to be charged for his opinion. He has to, as an officer of the government and as head of that particular department, he can only suggest, if there is a potential crime here, would you bring charges, please? He cannot order them to do it. And that's
Okay.
where the problem is. He's ordering them to do it.
Okay. May I respond? One, we don't know that he has specifically ordered them. He might have.
He just fired the prosecutor who wouldn't do it.
That's not an order. That's firing
And
somebody.
said that's why. I mean, what else do you need?
I'll tell you what you're going to need.
I don't
In a court of
understand
law,
why
you're
you
gonna
keep
need
defending this.
a document. You're going to need a document. Hey, he called me up. Great. Do you have a recording of the call? I don't know that you're allowed to record that type of call, but you're going to need something concrete. Like, hey, here, as they say, the smoking gun. You're going to need something like that. Number two, I don't know, and I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know the thing, that the president, who is the chief executive and who is the commander of the Department of Justice, cannot order a prosecution. He might be able to legally, like, hey, the president can prosecute whoever he wants. I mean, I don't know.
See,
that's a question
that
federal.
did happen up
Yeah.
through the Nixon years, and we reformed the system.
Is there a law that says
and
the
established
president
DOJ?
cannot order- Right. I'm sorry.
And I mean, since
The
Nixon,
Department of Justice is supposed to be independent of the president. So when he orders them to do something, there's a problem there.
Right. But
and the thing is, you know,
he ordered anybody. Yeah, he might have.
since Nixon, every president has honored that principle of independent judiciary, and it was always true that when we got a president who wanted to be a dictator and control the Department of Justice and its prosecutions, there wouldn't be much to stop it. And that's where we are.
Right.
We've got a president who wants the Department of Justice to be his personal law firm. And unfortunately, he's got the power to do that if he gets away with it.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying he does have the power to do it. It's just been a convention since Nixon that it isn't done. So we need to get legislation.
He has the power to do it unless somebody stops him. And it is supposedly the job of Congress to stop him, but they're just rolling over.
Right. Well, they were elected. They were elected.
Yeah. That's where we get a problem with.
The election is coming. You guys are going to have to try to change that. We'll have Hakeem Jeffries.
And that's going to be I think a lot of voters are going to have to wrestle with the idea that you've got a president doing these things, and do you want it? I mean, it could be that Americans want a strong man. I mean, a dictator.
What happens if Comey comes out and cracks? Okay, like Miss Prosecutor said, he says, "Hey, all right, I am guilty of this, blah blah blah. I don't want to go to jail. So here's how it went down." The next thing you know, now you got a real situation on your hands.
You don't know much about Comey if you think that's going to happen.
I sense Comey is about Comey and about looking good and being on TV, selling his books. He will crack. He's not going to. He's no. What was that crazy? G. Gordon Liddy. That guy's crazy. I mean, like, hey, I will never crack. You can put me on a burning stake. I'll die this way. I sense Comey is very proud. He liked to look good on TV. This is great. Look, he's right out with he's fighting fire with fire. Here's my tweet. Here's your tweet. Oh, here's my video. Here's your video. Like, this doesn't work well for him against the president of the United States. You've been better off.
I really hate calling you maggot, man. I don't care if you make up a name.
Tony. I'll put up my name, Tony. Yeah. I'm sorry. I did a long time ago.
What is your real name so I can address
Tony.
you as a person? Tony? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony. Yeah.
I got no problem. I'm not hiding behind anything, really. Yeah. Let's see what we've established. Some things I've claimed ignorance to. I don't know if the chief executive, the president of the United States, has the power to directly order his Department of Justice to prosecute somebody. I don't know. I suspect he probably does. but I don't know. I
This
And
is
go
a
ahead, Jamie.
whole
and
segment of
one
philosophy.
more thing, and then I'll show. I don't know that he did that. There's no evidence, to my knowledge, that he said, Pam Bondi, you need to prosecute, or quote unquote, ordered anybody. Maybe suggested it, maybe inferred that it needed to be that type of thing. Okay, so that's where I am. Those two things.
Well, let's put it this way. He ordered it to the extent that the previous attorney said, no, I won't do it. There's no evidence there. And he fired that person and got someone who would file the charges in their place. So from that standpoint, yes, he ordered it.
I mean, we don't need to go to a court of law to prove this and abide by the rules of evidence in court. I mean, I think in the public forum, the standard's low enough that it's pretty clear this is only happening because Trump wanted it.
Firing people until he got one who would do what he wanted.
Okay, that's his right as president of the United States.
Yeah,
he can fire Pam Bondi tomorrow. You're fired. I don't like your job you're doing. Bring in Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
And that's why it needs to be part of the election.
That's why I always come back. You always say, that's why I always come back to how does this affect things politically? Because that's where it's all going. If the Republicans can gain seats in the House, then that whole line of attack on Trump is losing. If the Democrats gain seats in the House and take over the majority, hey, then what we did was wrong. I mean, now we got it. We're back, and Trump's wings are severely clipped. As things stand, I think the Republicans are going to win seats in the House, especially with the redistricting and all that type of stuff. It's going to help. So,
but we're getting into a whole realm here of a whole philosophy that gets argued in the press and in the news and chit chat at the local bar called the unitary executive. Mm-hmm. And our government originally at its base was set up with a whole lot of checks and balances. You had the judicial, you had the legislative, and you had the executive. Now we have someone in there who is following this whole 2025 super conservative idea of a unitary executive who is not checked except by election and replacement. And that's what everybody is having a problem with. Yes, it is by tradition, and it is in the Federalist Papers, and it is in the Constitution that the way you check the executive is with the other two branches of government. But right now, both of those branches are just rolling over and letting the executive do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. And that's where our whole problem is with the way things are being run right now. And you are absolutely right, Tony, in the sense that if we don't like it, we have an election. And that point, you hope nobody orders the army into the streets, because Hegseth is also rolling over and doing anything that Trump wants. Mm-hmm. So we're actually fearful of a potential dictatorship, but it will or it will not happen. It's what we are afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, I always, because I get this, oh, he's going to be a dictator, but I always put the pedal to the metal, or put the rubber to the road, or whatever. All these people say that. I always say, that's great. I'll give you 5-1 odds on a $50 bet that come January 20, 2029, somebody named Trump will become president. I got 5-1 odds.
I'm worried about what we've got left.
Nobody takes
when that day comes. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what happens before that.
At least you'll be $250 richer if you take me up on the bet. I don't think it's happening though. I don't think that's
that's irrelevant to what we're saying about his authoritarian rule. I mean, whether he leaves or not, I don't know about that.
As Jamie said, we have different periods. We had periods when the Congress was, the momentum was with the Congress, and you had a weak president. Then you had times when there was momentum with the.
But this is more than that.
I disagree.
I disagree. This is more than Nixon. I mean,
Trump is definitely, he's I hate to say going along with, but he's leading, and he's leading. Look, what's the big mantra that the maggots have? This is what I voted for. A lot. That's what you see. I see that all the time among the maggots. Hey, this is what I voted for. So
I don't think those farmers in Iowa voted to have their farms foreclosed.
Okay, hey, let's see. We're going to find out.
I mean, I
Iowa
don't think a lot of those MAGA supporters voted for 20% increases in beef prices. I mean, and this president never talks about that. The only time he mentions inflation is like he did the other day, and he just lies about it and says it's gone. It's gone. He said the other day in England, we beat inflation. It's gone.
Yeah, he does. You know what? He's a puffery guy. Yeah, this is the greatest economy since the beginning of when the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth. This guy, I don't even pay attention to any of that. That's like this guy. Did you hear what Trump said? No, it's ridiculous. The guy's out here talking. He's out here. You got to admit, there's never been a more accessible president. This guy talked for. He's
accessible to the hand-picked reporters that he allows around him.
And then he goes.
He threw out the Associated Press. He threw out Politico.
There's no question about
the only people around him are right side broadcasting.
Hey, what do you?
I mean, you can be accessible. You can be accessible to reporters that you've handpicked.
He's here. And this is what I don't understand about the left. There's like guys who are politically. Why are you spending energy on him? He's here. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to be impeached and removed. It's not going. He's here.
Yeah. Well, I got
on your new enemies, which are going to be Vance, perhaps Rubio.
No.
Perhaps, what's her name?
I got rats. I got rats in. We've got rats in the alley. That's why we hire pest control. We don't just say, "Well, the rats are here. We're not going to do anything about it."
But you can't do anything about it with those rats.
We did. We did right here in D.C.
Those rats. You're not going to get rid of Trump.
We ran him off. We ran him off right here in D.C. He backed off on that whole police takeover.
Oh, that's what do you mean? The police takeover's gone away? I thought
right. It expired after 30 days and he didn't renew it.
I didn't know that.
And that's because we got in the streets and we had protests. I went to half a dozen myself and it worked.
Yeah, like they said, a bunch of old white guys from the suburbs going to come in to tell the gang in the ghetto, like, hey, we want the cops going so you can get back to killing each other. I always tell black folks, first of all, I live in Camden, New Jersey. So it's like when I hear guys like, hey, oh yeah, I live out in Swanksville, this is the way it got to be down in
what's that? I don't know what you're talking about. What's that got to do with anything?
I live in the ghetto, people. Look at Camden, New Jersey. It's like one of the most famous places. I grew up in this city from 1967. So when you start talking about the way it should be in the ghetto, great. Do you live here? No. Have you ever lived here?
Who's talking about that? I don't know what you're talking about.
What I'm saying is it's like this. When a bunch of white people come into Washington, D.C., I went in, I marched with you. What was that?
I mean, this was my own neighbors in my own neighborhood right here in D.C. Nobody was imported.
What percentage of your neighbors are black?
I'd say about half.
You live in what would be considered inner city ghetto environment?
No, not at all. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying we had protests and marches and we beat them back. I mean, and we've got our city back again.
Okay. And what happens
what
happens if 7 people are killed next weekend in Washington, D.C., shot and killed? 20 shot, 7 killed.
We didn't
hope you win the election.
Nobody's going to eliminate crime.
Well, from my understanding, it's being eliminated.
That had no effect on the statistics they keep citing for improving crime around here in 30 days was just all the arrests. They don't talk about the arrests not leading to convictions or charges getting dropped. They just said, we arrested 1,000 people. That doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Look, I think it's a political loser. If you're going to say, hey, we don't want the feds coming in and patrolling our neighborhoods. Okay. I always say to folks, especially black folks, great. I don't care. You want to kill each other? It's not I'm a white guy. You know what I mean? What am I going to do? Convince you otherwise? How many black people will kill other black people in Chicago this weekend? I got the over on 7.
So what? What? I don't get your point.
You're protesting against Trump coming in and trying to do something about it. Oh, okay.
Tony, that's a little matter called the posse comitatus. And you will hear that. The feds are not supposed to do it. It's not their job.
Right.
I mean,
it's
and the
actually
public
a
turned
law
on him.
against it. The
I
fact
mean, we
that he
saw
does
a change.
Yeah, in DC,
the
they
fact
are,
that
they
he
are
does
supposed to
it
do it.
is wrong.
But what's happened now, from my understanding, is the feds are going into Memphis with the governor.
Yeah, see, they pick out one city. They backed off this whole National Guard thing because it tanked in the polls. I mean, they're now at 60% of the public not in favor of ordering the National Guard into cities. I mean,
I don't know.
It backfired on them, and and that was largely because of the protests they were seeing. But they backed off sending the National Guard into Chicago. They're pulling them. They pulled them out of DC.
They can't.
This whole National Guard thing went nowhere, and it hurt them in the polls, and they're not talking about it anymore, except for Memphis. And I don't even know if they're going to follow through on that.
Well, I hope they do, for the poor people in Memphis who are killing each other. I mean, or getting killed. I feel bad, but that's
the National Guard can't do anything about that. We've already seen that. I mean, it's just stupid.
I mean, look, I disagree. Weren't there far fewer murders on the weekends that those guys were on the street?
No, they didn't go to where the murders are. They were around National Mall and Union Station.
They didn't. Were there far fewer murders? Okay, the week before the National Guard got in, there were 12.
No,
next weekend there
the
were
only
3.
stat they used to say that they reduced crime is the number of arrests, and I'm saying that's bullshit, because the number of arrests, if you don't follow through with actual charges and convictions, are kind of pointless.
Yeah, well, there is prevention. I mean, that's always a nice thing. So we prevented somebody. We found
Tony, in Washington, D.C., there is a section called Southeast, and it is what you are talking about, where it is principally Black or people of color in residence, and it is probably where the highest crime rate of Black on Black crime exists, which is what you are talking about. And it is the one section where nobody Trump sent in went. They just would not go there.
They would not go there. But I mean, maybe they didn't have to go there. Look, I need to see the absolute numbers. Before the feds came in, whatever National Guard came in, on average, how many murders were there per week? Great. The National Guard came in, and suddenly that decreased by 70%. That sounds like it's working to me. If people want to go back to the old way,
it's only working to the extent that people stay indoors because they don't want the problem.
What problem?
So if they actually have to work or go to school or live a life, they can't do it because they're staying indoors because they don't want to get shot.
By who are they going to get shot by?
I mean,
the long arm of the law running coming in.
I mean, Trump lied about crime statistics in D.C. before he sent them in, and they're lying about the crime statistics now.
Yeah, okay.
It was the whole thing was a big joke.
Yeah.
And it only lasted 30 days. And I think it's significant that he didn't seek an extension for another 30 days. He didn't even ask for one. He just left.
Let's see. I want to see how that is.
No, Trump is a great one for putting on a show. And if the show goes well, he's happy to have it continue. If it does not go well, he suddenly gets very, very quiet or thinks it was a raging success, so now he can stop.
I wouldn't say he puts on a show. I'd say he trumpets his policy. If the policy works, he's going to continue it. If it, because I mean, it's not a show. That was policy. National Guard troops.
No, that was performance art. I mean, putting a bunch of National Guard at Union Station was performance art. That was a show.
Guy who's stationed at Union Station. Hey, this is performance art. He doesn't feel that way. He feel like, hey, I'm stationed out here, whatever. Once again, I don't think it's politically winning. I got to see. If Memphis will be a better test case, obviously, and they're talking about New Orleans too, because the governor in those states
talking.
Yeah, let's see. We'll see if the crime rate doesn't go down.
I mean, they've said that for 2 weeks now, and it hadn't happened. So
my my whole problem with Trump is that he is an incredibly ignorant man. Not stupid, ignorant. He knows virtually nothing about anything. What makes him dangerous are the very intelligent people or well-educated people around him that are telling him what to do, and they are dangerous.
I first of all, I disagree that he's ignorant. The guy's been in the world. He was in New York real estate. He's international. Somehow he knows. I mean, maybe that's acting. That hey, I play ignorant. I'm playing to the base. I don't.
He actually went through the money his father gave him very, very rapidly, and the loans he got from banks kept him up and supported because they wanted those loans paid back, and the only way they could do it was by keeping him in business. He virtually owns nothing. He licenses his name. He has made more money by being president of the United States than he ever made by being in business.
I disagree with that, but he's not. First of all, he's not even in charge of Trump Organization anymore. He had the divorce, but we could say, oh yeah, he's not going to. Whatever. Look, you guys are Trump haters. We got that. I
don't hate him. I just think that he's a very bad businessman. Every single thing he has ever touched has failed. And the only way that he has kept on with his money is by being propped up by other people that needed it to keep the money flowing enough to get their money back that they had loaned him.
Yeah, I don't know that assertion that everything he's ever touched has failed and he's a failed businessman holds up to scrutiny.
It's a long list.
Casinos, he's failed at stakes. He's failed at university. He has failed.
He's tried some crazy ideas.
I mean, how do you go bankrupt with a casino? I mean, how does a casino go bankrupt?
He got over leveraged. He started leveraging. That's how you do it. Hey, I got this money. This casino is making money. Let me try an airline and let me try a university. God bless him. He's trying to do American way.
That's Jamie's point.
Businessman.
Right? No, he had some failures. He wrote a book.
He had one.
Almost went bankrupt.
Even if you ever read the article by Burnett, who started The Apprentice, is the reason that he used Trump is because he knew, one, Trump was a very bad businessman and had the time, and he had the ego of a giant that he could put on air, and everything that they did in The Apprentice was a scripted lie. So
it's entertainment.
So a lot of people swallowed this BS on TV as being a reality show. And it was about as real as a marshmallow.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, he's got a lot of smart people around him and blah, blah, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that smart people are going to, hey, let's throw in with this stupid idiot. I don't see that. I mean, I think, he's a smart guy. Believe it or not. He went to Wharton School of Economics back when it was hard, in the 60s. My father went there.
We've never seen his grades, and we've never seen the story on the guy that took the exam for him.
You don't get into these schools and be like,
he hired somebody. He got in by hiring somebody to take the exam.
There's no evidence.
And by his father contributing to the school.
We want and need to believe that as Trump haters.
His own sister said he hired somebody to take the exam.
In this guy's case, you can find somebody. So many people hate the guy. You can find anybody say anything. Hey,
his sister said that.
I was a crack hoe out on the avenue, and Trump came up and raped me.
His own sister's on an audio recording saying that he hired someone to take the exam to get into work.
Is on an audio recording saying I hired someone to take my
Trump's sister said okay, we're not going to accept that.
Was she there? No.
Yeah, she told him. I mean, she told him. She's the one that she's the one that he got appointed to a federal judgeship.
I'm not believing it, but look, we can believe whatever we want.
Well, you can listen to the recording if you want.
I don't listen to that woman. For some reason, she's a crackpot. I mean, look, I wouldn't trust anyone.
She was a federal judge. I mean,
you talking about his sister? No, his cousin.
His sister was a federal judge that he got appointed.
His sister was a federal judge. Trump's.
And she died not too long ago, a year or so ago. Yeah. I mean, I forget her first name, but you can look up Trump's sister and Wharton and see what you get.
Let's see.
Are you what are you researching, Jamie?
That
You
I
look.
was going to do just
His niece.
that.
Okay, wait a minute,
Oh.
wait a minute. It's not his sister, it's his niece, Mary Trump. His
No,
niece, okay?
no. Mary Trump's the one who recorded his sister saying that.
Mary Trump has okay, why haven't we heard
He
these
said-
recordings?
It all came out in the 2016 campaign. Because there was a whole period where the media was chasing Wharton to try to get his grades, because the Trump campaign wouldn't release his grades at Wharton, and never has to this day. And the media was trying to get it out of Wharton, and then there was a professor at Wharton who and then they went they actually identified the guy that supposedly took the exam for him, but he's dead, and his wife did say she had never heard that. So it was one of those stories that got chased into a rabbit hole and and just went away.
Motivation. It's about too much and never enough. And Trump's responding. Yeah, you know what? Trump is right. All this stuff, he cheated to get into Warren. He cheated, blah, blah, blah. He did this. Trump sums it up. Every day it's something else. Who cares? Yeah, I'm kind of there. It's like this stuff is
Right.
It's been so widespread that it's lost all effectiveness.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is,
Okay.
don't make a big deal out of the fact that he went to Wharton, because there are a lot of questions about that.
He cheated. She's saying his sister, his niece is saying his sister told him that this is getting, in a court of law, this is not going very far.
Well, we're not in a court of law.
I understand that, but she's saying he cheated on the SATs to get into Wharton. Okay, if he did, how did he stay at Wharton if he couldn't get into?
He didn't stay.
He
graduate from
didn't
Wharton?
stay.
No,
He didn't
did
stay,
not.
and his father gave him
Wait,
millions of dollars.
I thought he graduated from Wharton.
No,
Maybe I'm getting educated. Trump graduate from Wharton. Yeah, that's all we need. Trump, he transferred to Wharton School of Pennsylvania, community college on weekends, graduating in May 1968 with a Bachelor of Science in Economics. So he did.
That's not Wharton. That's University of Pennsylvania.
Right? Yeah, University. This is where you got a little bit.
Wharton's
This is
a
the hat I
separate
pulled off
degree.
of my grandfather's head. My father went to Wharton School on an academic scholarship in 1955. Academic scholarship. Came from nothing. His father had an ice cream store in Erie, Pennsylvania. So my father was a sharp guy. He went to Wharton. Wharton is part of University of Pennsylvania. It's the business school, University of Pennsylvania.
Right.
So if you graduate from Penn, if you graduate with a degree in economics for Penn, that means you went to Wharton. There is no other way to go. I got a degree in economics from Penn, but I didn't go to, no. It's part of it. Look, take my word. He graduated from Wharton. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, I didn't go to Penn. This is my father's hat. I pulled it off his dead head before they zipped up the bag. They said, "Do you want to keep this?" I said, "Yeah. What the hell?" He was always like, my father was an actor, but he graduated from Wharton.
he graduated from Penn, which at that time was called the Wharton School. So Tony is right.
Yeah.
But there are 3 levels of expertise when you graduate: cum laude, summa cum laude, and magna cum laude. He was not, in other words, he was in the bottom 50% of his class.
Probably.
And the one professor that he had called him the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever been.
You can always find these people, like he says. Every day it's something else. Okay, they found a professor. He's the stupidest son of a bitch I ever.
Yeah, every day there's something else, because the man is a criminal.
Right, okay. He was your stupidest student. Did you pass him? Yes. Well, then you're corrupt. Either you're corrupt
We don't.
or you're
We
lying.
don't even know. We don't know what his grades are because they
And
won't
you
release
can
them. They
graduate
never
from
have.
high school without being able to read. It's wrong, but yes, that can happen.
Right.
And
But
in his case, you give them enough money, they'll stamp the.
so, like I just said, so Mr. Professor, you were telling us that Donald Trump is the dumbest son of a bitch you ever taught, correct? Yes. Did he pass your course? Yes. Well, then either you're corrupt or you're lying. There's only two. I mean, or I don't know, or you're teaching at Wharton and you just pass everybody. And you're
That professor might have given him an F.
Talk
We
to
don't know.
anyone who's with him. You have to present
if he
stuff to
passed
him
them-
verbally because he does not read.
We don't know that. I think he
Yeah,
reads.
we do know it from people who work with him.
He reads. He's got to read all these bills. Look, I'm not okay. We got to always get to this with you guys. You guys are the anti-MAGA, the anti-Trump more than anything. He's here. You can't change it. He's here.
Yeah.
You lost the election.
Right.
Either
You're totally right.
Like I say, I got rats in the alley too,
Right.
but I hire pest control.
Craig, what percentage of your day do you, with our limited time? I'm 65. I got limited time in this world. What percentage of your day do you spend waking up thinking about like Trump? What can I find out about Trump? I mean, if I say
Almost none.
it's what brings you pleasure, okay, great.
No, it doesn't bring what I think about is how can I save my country from this dictator? That's what I think about.
You want to make a bet? I give you 5-1 odds.
No,
on the
don't
$250
start that
bet.
again. I don't
It's
care
probably
about whether he
on.
leaves or goes 4 years from now. I'm talking about right here and now.
What's
That's
happening?
what I'm worried about.
ICE is enforcing the law that Congress passed. How does this like anti-democracy? The Congress passed the law that you aren't allowed to enter the country illegally. If you do, you will be deported. As you said in one previous podcast, Obama deported many more people than Trump at this point. So
Legally,
ICE. You said that. Oh,
he
yeah.
did it legally. I mean, yeah. I mean that they had probable cause. They had arrests that survived court challenges, and they got a 70% conviction and deportation rate, and Trump's is more like 30% because they're just willy-nilly rounding people up because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, okay.
That's not legal. Congress didn't pass that.
That's once again, there's where I think you've been as I remember, the Supreme Court has overruled you and said it's not necessarily to go through procedures to deport people who are here illegally. I believe the Supreme Court, that was one of the things. They have to have procedure. Okay. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said it's not necessary.
That's part of the dictatorship is co-opting the courts to get his way. I mean,
Co-opting. He appointed people,
and he appointed people who are doing his bidding.
They were nominated.
That's how autocrats.
They were approved.
That's how autocrats take over
They were
democracies.
nominated. They were approved by the Senate.
They take over the courts.
Okay, but they were nominated officially. They were approved, and now don't we like? Kavanaugh, I think, or whatever the guy's name was from Jersey, the Italian guy from Jersey. We hate him. We gotta hate him. Hey, he's qualified. He was nominated. He was approved by the Senate. That sounds like the system works.
I'm saying that this is why voters have to pay attention to who they elect to appoint Supreme Court.
Should we expand the Supreme Court to 13 justices in your opinion?
Well, because we need more districts, divisions.
There are currently
for population growth,
appellate courts.
we're way beyond needing to do that.
Right. So this sounds a lot more like dictatorship and fascism. Like, hey, let's stack the court.
No, we've expanded the court. We've expanded the court several times. I mean, it hadn't been for a long time.
The Supreme Court was originally how many justices?
I mean, the way it works is there's the districts of court, the divisions, districts. I forget what they call, and there's 9. And for population growth, we need a few more
As I was saying, Tony, there are currently 13 appellate courts. And in the past, it has always been there was one Supreme Court judge for each appellate court because when issues come up, when they first come up, there is a Supreme that reviews it as to whether or not it should go forward and be heard by the Supremes. Well, right now they're having to double up because they're outnumbered by the appellate courts. And what we are saying is expand the Supreme Court to match the number of appellate courts, because that by tradition is what it has been.
Yeah.
Which is something Republicans wanted when there were Democrat presidents.
Well, that's the way it goes. Hey, look, one thing I've noticed is all these things that Democrats do usually turn around. They work in the short run, but then they come around and bite the Democrats in the ass almost every time. It's like, hey, it comes back and gets them. So be careful. Like, let's go.
It happens all the time to Trump.
Hey, let's go to
Trump with tariffs.
Yeah.
Trump. That happens to Trump too. It's happening with tariffs right now.
Oh, we'll see the tariffs. I'm not in favor of the tariff policy. I'm against
that's
the way it's been rolled out. But certain countries, okay, they're like blatantly cheap. Like I lived in Brazil all those years.
I'm talking about the inflationary pressure.
That could come around and turn around and bite them. That's for sure. That's the only thing that can stop Trump, in my opinion, and the Republicans coming up. If inflation takes and the economy takes a nosedive, I mean,
which it is. They're doing nothing about it. I mean, that's what they were elected to do.
Or we're looking. Who is your candidate to lead your party in 2028? Who would if you had to make a decision?
I'm warming up to Newsom.
Okay. All right.
Warming up to him.
Here's another point I will give to Tony. He is right. Right now, the Democrats have not coalesced around a candidate or any group of candidates that they want to put up for the presidential race. And we really need to do it. We've got to stop bitching about Trump and get to work on changing things.
There you go. Now you're starting to talk about region. The best candidate you guys would have would be probably Josh Shapiro. He brings in Pennsylvania supposedly, but he's not going to get nominated in this party. It's like Ben Shapiro, not Josh Shapiro. He says, look, Mondami in New York, we need socialism now. We need free transfer. This is not a quirk of his candidacy. This is the candidacy.
No, I think that's what
40% of the Democratic Party believes we need socialism now. And
they don't.
I disagree.
I don't know anybody who says that.
Bernie is very good at being loud.
I believe 35% of Democrats.
You can put that in people's mouths, but nobody's saying that.
I said I believe. That means it's my opinion. Could be right, could be wrong. I believe 35% of the Democratic Party, and that 35% is the ones with the fire and fury to go out and campaign for Mondami or whoever for AOC for the nomination. Josh Shapiro has no.
I think Trump's policies are doing more. Trump's doing more to make socialism popular than anybody.
We're not talking about Trump. We're talking about what you guys are going to do.
I'm saying there's an environment.
I think the absolute best person to be president is someone we cannot run, and that would be Pete Buttigieg.
Why can't you run him? He's an American citizen. He's old enough to become president.
Yes, he's also a gay white man, and I do not think we could get him elected.
Oh, well, that's different from we can't run him. Hey, nominate.
No, we could run him, but we want someone we can get elected.
Right. And I always say,
who can name him as Secretary
who
of
is going to be? Who is going to
But
be?
I want to ask.
Cream.
Hang on. I want to ask Jamie something, because I have picked up on you. You seem to be resistant, and I'm interested because you live in the West Coast and know more about him. You seem resistant to Newsom. Am I right in picking up on that, or?
Only from the standpoint of, yes, I think he could be a good president, and I think that he is an intelligent man. My problem with him is he is a little too wishy-washy on issues. He wants to be in office more than he wants to do the job. And
opportunist.
He's too much of an opportunist. But yes, I think he would be just fine as president. We've had a whole lot of just fine presidents. We survived them.
Michael, and I didn't even put this. I said, who is your candidate to beat Midwesterner what's his name? J.D. Vance, who came from a trailer park, served overseas in the military, and then went to Yale Law School and graduated near top of his class. And his wife is Indian, person of color. Who you got going to beat that guy?
I just think he's boring.
People thought he was very unlikable. Then there was the Democrat. There was the debate. The vice president. He came off as very likable. J.D. Vance.
I thought he came off like a jerk.
Yeah, he says one thing and then he does. He has two sides to every issue.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with J.D. Vance.
I don't think Josh Shapiro could beat him. I don't think not because look, he's going to take Michigan. Yeah, he's from the Midwest, which is where these critical states are right now. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, not really Midwest, but you get out, the votes that you need in Erie, Pennsylvania, that's Midwestern kind of values. I don't see how you beat him. And look, I don't see how you're warming up to Newsom. Okay, he's not going to take Wisconsin or Pennsylvania.
I think if we put up like Newsom and Booker, we could beat J.D. Vance.
Booker's like crazy. Going to get all angry and stuff like that. And don't forget, Newsom and Booker bring two solid blue states. So you're not getting any new states out of it. With Vance, you're putting Pennsylvania in play. You're definitely putting Wisconsin in play, and you're putting Michigan in play. Crucial states to win. Can't win without those. Democrats can't. I don't see it. I don't know who your candidate is, but that's what I encourage you guys to start thinking about, and what the platform is going to be. If it's just we hate Trump, that's been tried. You lost with that. It's over. You need to get a new thing and get back to middle of the center Bill Clintonism. Ed Rendell.
Hating Trump was worth 70 million votes. I think we get another
enough to win, enough to lose. You lost. They do everything at the guy.
You're right. We have to get back to it's the economy, stupid.
If the economy's bad, if the economy's good, which I suspect it will be, Trump, he adjusts. Let me put it this way: if tariffs aren't working and the economy is going down, believe me, he'll be the first one to get rid of this.
Well, I just came up with a stat that's going into place next year, and it will affect seniors in that the amount deducted for Social Security insurance is going to take a big jump.
Okay.
And the amount of COLA for that they'll end up with about a $10 a month raise. Yeah. And that isn't enough to.
Agreed.
You mean an increase in what's taken out?
Be a little bit more. Yeah, you need a $40 a month raise. Will be very good. And believe me, I think if it is a $10 and if it's perceived as not enough, Trump will go to Congress and say we need to get this up. Even if it means deficit spending, which I disagree with.
No, he'll just say it's not happening. Like he is now. He said
he'll change.
He said last week inflation is gone.
Trump
he'll just say it's not happening.
He will change. If it's not working, we're changing it. So
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, there's plenty of reason for him to focus. He doesn't even focus on bread and butter economic issues. Never even talks about it.
I'm sorry. I thought
he doesn't talk about what people are really care about.
October 1st. Here's a good one. Do you support Chuck Schumer? Do you think it's politically advantageous for Democrats to shut the government down over?
Yeah.
You think so? You think that's politically?
Yeah. Because I mean, we cannot fund this. We cannot fund a dictatorship. We have got to stop funding it.
This is why what dictatorship? The man was elected fair and square. You don't like the policy. Okay, I got that. Like this dictatorship, fascist dictator.
Yeah.
Trump is rebuked by the court, and okay, we lost on that. Let's try another way. He gets rebuked by the court.
Impounding funds and turning soldiers into cops, impounding funds.
To my understanding, all that's been done under the cover of the law. There's nothing illegal about it.
The cover of the law. That's the point of electoral autocracy. I mean, that's how it works. You use democracy and its institutions to take over and consolidate your dictatorship. That's what he's doing.
This sounds so far out, like there's a dictatorship. I don't think it wins in Pennsylvania, Michigan.
I don't care whether it wins or not. It's what's happening.
You're right. So you would rather take some moral high ground, which a lot of people disagree with, and lose, than like say, hey, look, maybe I need to moderate a little bit here and start winning again. Because
I think you
means you're just
persuade
gonna be
people.
frustrated all
You
the time.
persuade people to see the truth, and
Right.
that's a hard job. But that you don't abandon trying.
I agree, but I don't think you're persuading. We've heard this thing. We heard it all the way through the campaign. He's going to be a dictator, blah, 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 and people still voted for him. By the way, he won the popular vote. You've said many times he didn't win he won the popular vote.
He
Did
didn't
not win
win.
the popular vote.
He got 48.6%. He did
No,
not
he didn't.
win
He
a
got
majority.
49. He got 49.3%. And okay, hold on.
He didn't win a majority of the popular vote, and I'm saying that's not a mandate for what he's doing. And that's the point. Is they keep acting like they won all the votes and have this mandate. Trump claims he won California.
Do we believe that it's pretty left to center, the Annenberg Public Policy Center called factcheck.org, or we don't find them to be persuasive?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about this right there for you. Annenberg factcheck.org. Most people think that that's a pretty, it's a left leaning, but they assume, okay, it's pretty clear. Trump won the popular vote. Now you might want to redefine it.
He didn't win a majority of the popular vote. That's the point.
Greg,
and that's not a mandate.
Tony's right.
Okay, here we go. I'll give you the text on it. I'll give you the text.
Tony is right. He won 49.4% of the popular vote.
Right.
And because there was a third party in the race, it means that he did win the majority of the popular vote.
I don't know that even won the majority of the popular vote.
That's a plurality, isn't it?
It is a plurality, but the definition of popular votes means you won the most vote of any candidate. That's the definition of popular vote.
Right.
He didn't win an absolute majority. Granted, he did not win an absolute majority.
Throughout Clinton's presidency, Republicans kept attacking the fact that he was only won by a plurality.
But that is a fact. He won by a plurality, but he did win the popular vote. He did win the popular vote. Clinton, I'm talking about. Clinton won the popular vote, as popular vote, is defined. Popular vote means you won the most votes of any candidate.
I'm saying
plurality means, hey, there were probably more votes against you than won. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, that's where it is. I just like to keep the nomenclature.
I like it when I can let Tony win one.
I'm not letting you win. These are the we got to keep. If we can't agree on the common nomenclature, the popular vote means one thing, and we're out here. And that's why you're losing.
Winning.
Hold on, let me finish my
winning the popular vote to the extent they claim a mandate would require more than 50% of the popular vote.
I agree. Trump doesn't have a mandate. That's him engaging in his puffery. The greatest victory in the history. Yeah, I got it. Nobody's paying attention to him. Nobody really is, except for you guys. We're not. We're maggots. We're like, yeah, this is Trump talking his usual bullshit. I mean, but we laugh at him. It's funny. It's almost designed to get you guys in a fury to lash out. And it's like you just gotta say, look, this guy talks a lot of bullshit. I mean, okay, but we gotta keep an eye on the policy.
He's a liar.
Some of it's puffery, some of it's.
It's a lie.
I forget what he said this morning. I think I don't watch Fox News. I turn the news on for my mom downstairs and I catch a couple things. But he said something about like the lowest tax rate in his. It's wrong. It's wrong. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't. That he said this. Is it true? Is it even lying? Maybe, like you said, he's the stupidest. Maybe so stupid he doesn't realize that he's lying. You know what I mean? And then you're not lying. You got to have a guilty mind to lie.
That's always been a question for me. Is I don't know if he believes his lies or he knows he's lying. I can't tell.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I don't see a lot of his lies. I see a lot of his puffery and him going off. He said that.
He said
for the country. He's gonna.
He just said inflation is gone. We've eliminated inflation.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, what is he talking about?
Now that's a lie.
I don't know if it's I hate to say.
Why isn't that a lie? He said in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, he said that they had cut drug prices 1,500%.
Yeah,
I mean, first
I
of
don't
all,
believe
how-
any of it. Yeah.
but any-
I'm sure it's not correct. And know what? Most of
what he
the
said. He said it 3 times and again the next day.
true. I mean, you're not. If you want to try to impeach him on that,
I'm not trying to impeach him. I'm just saying he's a liar, and you can't say he isn't.
It depends on how strictly we're going to say lie. Okay, is it puffery? Is a lie? Is it in
I'm a pretty
inaccuracy? Yeah, because I think lie means you have to have the guilty mind and to have the guilty effect. You know what I mean? It's like, hey,
Well,
I
that's
lied.
what I'm saying. I don't know if he knows he's lying or if he doesn't. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, my big problem with maggots is so many of them believe what he's saying. You know, you don't.
Yeah.
You say, yeah, that's puffery, that's noise, it's whatever. But there is a very large percentage of the people who either through ignorance or lack of paying attention or whatever, believe that he is sort of some manifest from God leading us out of the wilderness. And I worry about them.
I disagree.
really
I
sincerely
think
worry
you're
about
underestimating the intelligence of the maggot crowd. I work with one guy. He's a HVAC guy. Okay, he does, fixes your air conditioner and that stuff. He's not a college graduate or anything, but I know he even knows. He's he's a huge Trump fan. He's like really deep into it. And I lost $40 to him on the election because I gave him 2-to-1 odds that Trump was going to lose. I thought Trump was going to lose. I thought it's over. This guy's not going to win the second time, but he won. But I think the maggot folks don't even pay attention to this. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I watched all those rallies on Right Side Broadcasting, and the thing I liked about them is 3 or 4 hours before the rallies, they would interview all the people in line for the rallies, and these are the hardcore, And man, it was scary. Some of the things those people would say about. I mean, believing that Trump was literally the son of God and all
crazy.
kinds
Anybody talking that is crazy. Yeah, come on. I don't believe they believe that, most of them. I believe.
I think some of them do. I mean, people who get in line I'm talking about people who would get in line for 4 or 5 hours to listen to him talk for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like beyond me. And say the same thing.
These are hardcore.
Already on TV. You're not going to find me at anything like that. I think it's more the communal vibe. Like, let's hang out, we'll have some fun, drink a beer. It's like a tailgate.
There's some of that.
There
is some of that. I've been to some of those rallies.
But I think the intellectual firepower with the podcasts and all that is with the right. I mean, Ben Shapiro is a highly intellectual podcast. He's throwing out all kinds of information and backing it up with videos and audio. Same with Victor Davis Hanson. The guy's, taught at Stanford. He's a scholar. Okay, historical stuff. I mean, I don't see any of that on the left. I just hear a bunch of ranting and raving by Rachel Maddow about dictator, and I think when
I mean, she brings receipts. I mean, she proves it. Her case.
I don't think she pays for her salary even. I mean, the ratings don't seem to be all that good. I mean, look.
What difference does that make? I don't.
We said she brings the receipts. I mean, maybe
I'm talking about she proves her case when she makes a case.
I disagree, but
have you watched her?
Like this sliver of the it's great. Only the true believers are already there. She's preaching the choir. She's not bringing anybody new in. Bill O'Reilly was king. Like, okay,
we need our own Joe Rogan.
But I don't know Joe Rogan. He's a little bit. It's not as intellectual as I like. I like more intellectual stuff. I like Megyn Kelly. She gets a little vulgar sometimes. If I were an agent, I tell her, hey, stop with the F-bombs, and it's not ladylike. And she's a pretty girl now, but she's in touch. She's a lawyer. She's a former prosecutor. Not messing around. But Ben Shapiro, he's solid. I get a lot of information from him. I discovered a new guy. Sounds like Larry Kudlow, but he's young Larry Kudlow O'Connell. His name is Larry O'Connell. And I listened to him the first time. I listened to him I'm like, this is Larry Kudlow. No, because he said, it's Larry. My name is Larry. And I'm thinking, no, it's a young guy. But he's pretty intellectual, too. And they, as you said, they bring video. Here is Maxine Waters saying this. Oh, okay, man. Yeah, it's hard to refute it. You got her on video saying it. Hillary Clinton on that show the other morning while the ICE thing was being shot. So it's all good.
Larry O'Connor.
Yeah, he's really
Larry O'Connor.
Yeah, Larry O'Connor. Yeah. He's quite good.
Yeah.
He's quite good. He brings out he's red meat. He's red meat. Yeah, I mean, he's like a little bit like your Sean Hannity. You know what you're going to get. You're not going to get like, what? Whereas Ben Shapiro is critical of Trump. He said, for example, Pam Bondi coming out and saying, well, I have the files on the Epstein. He said that was wrong. She should have never come out and said that. He said that was oversell, underdeliver. He said constantly, Ben Shapiro, the rollout of these tariffs has not been good. It's been filth, and we need to think about it. But, and the most recent thing he said was, the firing of, what is his name? The late night host. He said, look, if FCC pressured these people in the fight, it's wrong. It's not good. It's a bad.
My problem with Shapiro is on the cultural stuff. I mean, he's a right-wing nut on gay rights and abortion and transgender and all that stuff. He feeds all that hate.
Wait, what are gay rights? Should gay people have?
I don't know. He says homosexuality is a sin.
Well, the Bible is clear on that.
And so that's
the Bible is clear on that.
It's just like, but I'm not gonna admire him.
My wife is a hardcore Christian, goes to church on Saturday because the Sabbath, and doesn't. She just celebrated all. She's like a Jew for Jesus. She'll tell you straight up, hey, homosexuality is a sin. And the wife, there are no. She's hardcore into it, deep into it. I go to the church, and these people are deep into it, man. They're like,
Well, but she doesn't have she doesn't have a podcast with millions of people
true.
feeding hate.
I disagree.
He feeds hate.
So if you feel that if you say homosexuality is a sin, you fed hate.
Yeah, he preaches. He rails against anybody who's different to his.
I love the homosexual. I have this conversation with a lot of friends about. For me, homosexuality is a choice. Nobody's born homosexual, just as nobody's born a kleptomaniac. No, what started all this?
You've got somebody who you're not. You can't be intellectual and be such an absolutist. I mean, your absolutism is ignorant.
Well, hold on.
I just don't see how you could consider that an intellectual point of view.
No. Okay. If a man has homosexual impulses but does not act on them.
Now, this isn't something you can look up on the internet. I mean,
no, this is a basic question. If a man has homosexual impulses,
no, I mean, this started because
for one reason or another, is he homosexual? I say no. I haven't done anything.
Well, what's that got to do with Ben Shapiro? My point is, he preaches hate. He preaches hate gays, hate transgender, hate immigrants.
And do you listen to? I listen. He never says hate gays or anything. He says, "Hey, my Bible teaches me." The Torah teaches me that homosexuality is sinful behavior, and and a lot of people are that way. So, a lot of people feel that way. I mean, look, it's hard to argue. The Bible is pretty clear on that. Now, you might say, "Hey, I don't believe the Bible." Oh, okay, that's fine too. You can't say, "Oh no, the Bible doesn't say." Well, it's pretty clear on that. I don't consider that hate.
It isn't clear.
So everybody's got to agree with what everybody does. Hey, I got a swastika on my forehead. And you're not allowed to say you look like an idiot because that's hateful. Wait a minute, you got a swastika put on your forehead. I think you look like a total fucking idiot, but I can't say that. I have to respect I disagree with that. I say, look, I come from the school of old school. Like, hey, dude, why'd you do it? It's not going to help you in any way. You look like a damn idiot. You know what I mean? It's me. Last I know, and I don't consider that hate speech. I consider that, this is where and I think this is a big problem, is that nobody can disagree with the left unless, oh no, you're hateful. A man says, I feel like a woman, I want to cut off my penis and testicles, and you have to accept that. I'm like, dude, you need serious help.
Why is that your problem?
It's not my problem. I'm just allowed.
Well, you're making it your problem by saying that they should what, die?
If you have the money to do it yourself, like was Caitlyn Jenner or what Bruce Jenner does, great, go for it. I think you're sick. I think you need serious help. And I'm allowed to express my opinion that way. I'm not, and I don't consider it hateful. I consider it loving to tell you, hey, dude, I'm your friend. You need help. This is not healthy. I want to cut off my penis and testicles, and it's not healthy, dude. Let me help you. Let me help you find some help. Maybe can help you straighten these. That's loving. That's loving. That's not hate. That's loving. Man's obviously got serious problems.
That's
I mean,
ignorant.
Well, we're going to have to
Ignorant.
disagree. We're going to have to disagree. We're going to have to disagree. And I think, and once I always go back to put, I think you're going to lose that argument politically. You know, hey, we got to all learn to accept that, you know, men want to cut off their penises and testicles and be one. I don't think that's winning. You know, so I don't think
it's a political issue, and it shouldn't involve the government. That's my
then why
problem.
did Kamala Harris say, you know, in some offhand comment, like, hey, yes, we need to, you know, they've got these transgenders and we need to, you know, finance their sex change surgery, or what is it? I forget what they call it, sexual reaffirmment, you know, affirmation surgery. I just don't think it's winning. It's always got to get back to the political, though, because that's we live in a democracy. We're going to vote on these things. Oh well, I've talked too much. I'm sure I talked you guys' ears off. What's Jamie looking at? What are you looking at, Jamie?
I was actually looking up a personal business thing that I needed to take care of.
It's always interesting to look at oneself on these screens.
I actually have a life.
Yeah, I do too. I guess I got to get back into it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I got to go make lunch.
And today is my daughter's birthday, so I have to go.
We said happy birthday. What's the plan for the birthday? What's going to happen? A big surprise party?
She's probably going to hang out with her daughter.
Who's going to hang out with her? You said you're a great grandmother.
I am a great grandmother. I've got. Yeah, I'm 81, darling.
Okay, it's good.
I'm holding up.
Don't feel bad. No, don't feel bad. Don't feel good. My mom's 91 down here downstairs in our house. And note the irony is she doesn't have any gray hair. But she has a little, but I mean, you look at her hair, it's like brown hair. She's very proud of that. I don't have any gray hair. Mom, you're not. How old are you, Mom? I'm 90. No, well, actually, you're 91, going on 92 in December.
Yeah, I tell everybody I'm going for the family record, which is 106.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good. My mother does just likewise.
That happens to be my family record. My great grandfather was.
Where do you live, Jamie?
I live in Washington State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice place to live.
Oh, I love Washington. It's wonderful.
Are you from there originally? Your family and all?
No, I'm from California originally.
Okay. Yep. Lived there for a few years myself, California.
I've lived all over at various times, Arizona, New Mexico, DC.
Yeah. And Washington State is going to be the final landing place? Or
I think so, barring winning the lottery, yes.
Well, there's a good question. If you won the lottery, you had unlimited money, where would you move? What would you say? My
happiest place on earth is a place called Asilomar in Pacific Grove, California.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's kind of down the road from Monterey, but quieter.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, you never know. Life is short. You know? I might end up in Sicily, believe it or not. I've told Greg.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My only other alternative would be Scotland, which I've been to, and that's where my father was born. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Wow. I think I have some Welsh blood in me. My mom, I'm the first child on that side of the family with brown eyes. So they're all Indiana folks. Irish.
My mom's family was here to help found of Maryland and Virginia. So they've been around for a long, long time.
Are you a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution or Colonial Dames?
I could be. Yeah, I've got a signer on the Declaration. So
excellent. Actually, yeah, I don't know if we got signers on the Declaration. That's another thing.
I've got one, Carol of Maryland.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The people don't realize either. You know, it's like, you signed. Yeah, sure, let me sign. No, these people are like, if the Revolutionary War had gone the other way, these were dead men. These were dead men. I mean,
that's why they wrote in there. We pledge our lives and our fortunes.
Right.
They knew exactly what they were getting.
Right. People don't give those guys enough credit. Like, hey, they could have just hung out and done what they were doing. Like, hey, you know what? If I rock the boat, I have to pay a little more taxes. This was serious business these guys undertook. Thank God they won, you know. But so, that's it, man. Good. Got the old coffee going through the veins now. We got some Charlie Chaplin.
I'm gonna end it with some
this
Charlie Chaplin.
is a beautiful speech at the end of the great.
Yeah, it's a socialist speech. I'm just not a socialist. I'm a Milton Friedman free capitalist, Adam Smith capitalist.
Well, what he isn't talking about is socialism. He's talking about democracy, and
but
it is beautiful.
It's an easy thing, like, hey, we all got to be equal, and there'll be no poverty, and there'll be no extremely rich people, and all that. We're getting close to, it leads to socialism, and I'm against that, just personally. Go ahead, put it on.
I'm with the Nordic countries where it's more democratic socialism as a philosophy of life. So I tend to be a little more moderate.
What we have is corporate socialism.
These are very capitalist. Don't fool yourself. They tried.
What we have is corporate socialism, not capitalism.
To some degree, yeah, and I don't like that either. Crony capitalism, nope, not for it. For free capitalism. So,
all right, I'm gonna wind up here.
Yep, put it on, brother. Let's see it. It's only a 3-minute speech, so we can all absorb it.
I'm just gonna let this. This is just gonna end the stream, and we'll let this end the stream. You can stay on or not.
No, we'll watch. It's been a while.
I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
Okay, I'm Lady Mau Mau, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.